July the 12th, 2025, the next Ring Magazine show. And like all the rest, it is looking to be a spectacle. But we can talk a little bit more about the undercard, and I can give my 2 cents on that when we get a little bit closer to the fight night. And we get a little bit closer. This show is actually going to take place in New York City. It's going to take place in the borough of Queens. The Ring, we like to kind of break with tradition to an extent. You know, everyone's been there, seen it and done it with MSG, with Brooklyn. We take things on the road. We take things in a boxing city and we make it a little bit different. I think this card is going to be phenomenal. And as I said, we will talk about the card in depth in a future video closer to the date. We are mainly going to focus on a fight that really did, for many boxing fans, come out of left field. And it's quite a good fight. It's going to be Edgar Berlanga going in there against 168-pound debutant Hamzah Sheeraz. Now, both guys come into this fight kind of, well, in need of form, really, when you think about it. You know, Edgar Berlanga lost to Canelo and then he had a little run out, for want of a better word. Now he's fighting Hamzah Sheeraz, who was riding the quest of a wave of success. I mean, he was just making it look easy. Tyler Dinney, Ammo Williams, he was doing so good. Liam Williams in a round. And then he challenged for a world title against Carlos Adames. Let's go up to 168 pounds. And let's hit the ground running, because say what you want to say about Hamzah Sheeraz, say what you want to say about the Carlos Adames fight, but this is a guy who is moving up to 168 pounds, and you would maybe forgive him if he went in and fancied a somewhat easy touch. He's going in there against one of the biggest punchers in the division. Hamzah Sheeraz is used to being the bigger guy. At 100, and imagine, and I'll talk about his career a little bit more, but imagine he fought at 154 pounds. Yeah, he did. And then he fought at middleweight, where he looked just unbelievably big for that weight. And now he's going to go in there at 168 pounds. For the first time in his career, he may actually be the smaller man, because he's fighting Edgar Berlanga, as I said, one of the biggest punchers in the division, but also a man who was absolutely massive for 168 pounds. So much so that actually he didn't actually hit 168 pounds last time. So we're going to ask questions about Berlanga and the discipline. But what the purpose of this video is obviously to give my 2 cents on this fight. Of course, I know a lot of people don't listen to my opinion on boxing. But we also got to talk about how we got here as a fight. Now, as I said with Hamzah Sheeraz is an East Londoner. He was born in Ilford, which is kind of on the border between East London and Essex. And he's been pro now a while, started at 154 pounds. We'll talk about the Carlos Adames fight as being a blip on the radar. But crucially, there was actually another fight that he had earlier on in his career against a man by the name of Bradley Skeet. That right there is another blip on the radar. It's a blip on the radar for a variety of reasons. Not only is Hamzah Sheeraz very lucky that he didn't lose that fight, he's very lucky that he didn't lose it via disqualification, because he was losing that fight comprehensively to Bradley Skeet. And he landed a very dubious shot that a lot of referees would have not counted. And given the fact that Bradley Skeet could barely continue after it, he was a lucky boy. But what did he do from that? He learned, and he ended up basing himself in America, where I think that was where the boy became a man in Hamzah Sheeraz, basing himself in America, tough sparring, tough everything over there for a boxer, especially a British boxer going over. So he learned a lot from that and looked a lot more impressive thereafter. 2024 was arguably the peak of his career. It really was. It was the most successful year of his career. Why do you say that? Because he started the year in the copper box and he ended the year in Saudi Arabia. You know, he fought Liam Williams in the copper box, stopped him in a round. He captained Queensbury's 5v5 side to victory over Matchroom. He got a knockout that night, beat up Tyler Dinney. He done so much good stuff in 2024 that he is just riding the crest of a wave. Ran into Carlos Adames, I thought he lost it. But he's able to move on from that. He's able to dust himself down. And as he said, if he wasn't confident about this fight, why would he have taken it? Where you look at Edgar Berlanga, now with Edgar Berlanga, you know, his career is altogether different. He's always been a 168 pounder, but he turned pro with Top Rank way back in 2016. he amassed a unbelievable record, to say the least. Not in terms of the names, but 16 fights, 16 knockouts, all 16 in the first round. I kid you not. But inevitably, he did have to step up. And as he stepped up the levels, you can still see, world-class punching power. Yeah, you can still see world-class punching power. You notice I'm not saying anything else. There's still a lot to work on with Edgar Berlanga. But he is the naturally bigger guy. He is the naturally harder puncher. And you can ask questions as to how well Hamzah Sheeraz takes a shot. I think that's very, very much legitimate. This fight right here is one that I'm going to say is not going to be for the faint-hearted. You're talking about two aggressive guys. Both have good jabs. Both aren't blessed with a, Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker defense. So I think that this has all the makings of an absolutely epic scrap. And personally for me, I'm sitting on the fences. There's a part of me that feels as though, okay, Berlanga should have the power, he should have the size to deal with Hamzah Sheeraz. But at the same time, Hamzah Sheeraz, if he didn't feel confident, he wouldn't have taken this fight. A lot of people question him after the Carlos Adames performance. But this is a great way to, shut the naysayers up. You're going in there with a dangerous world-ranked opponent whose only loss came at the hands of Canelo Alvarez. Who doesn't lose to Canelo Alvarez? Only 2 people in 60 fights have beaten him, for God's sakes. This right here is a really, really good fight. I will do a review of the full card and give my picks on this fight, but as of right now, I'm going to sit quietly on the fences. The Ring Magazine, we're going to do a video in the next couple of weeks on this full preview, and then stay tuned for that. I will give my 2 cents, my picks on this fight. So for now, all I'll say is I do have a favourite, but you're going to have to stay tuned for that one. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the Ring Magazine's YouTube channel. This show will be epic. It is going to be a fantastic show. I, for one, can't wait. The Ring Magazine doing some of the best work in boxing, bar none. They're just a phenomenal organization. So thank you to the Ring Magazine. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, people, I'll chat to you on the next one. Peace.